Hi, my name is Akiva Goldman, and I'm an attorney with Goldman and Associates. And today we're going to talk about the impact of life insurance on a divorce. A lot of times you get situations where there is life insurance in place, one spouse to another. For example, the husband may have a policy that says in the event of his death, his wife is the beneficiary of a certain life insurance policy. Really, these policies at their very basic are purchased so that someone doesn't get suddenly burdened with a lot of financial obligations. So for example, let's say there's a big mortgage on the house and the wife's a homemaker, the husband's working. Should he die, there'll be ample money to pay funeral expenses, to pay the mortgage off on the house or whatever else. A lot of times you get that. The question is, what happens in a divorce? Imagine a scenario where somebody buys life insurance, they pay a premium, they forget about it, and then they get divorced. And they die, and all of a sudden some ex-wife who, hated the guy, they had a bitter divorce, all of a sudden she's the beneficiary of his life policy? That doesn't make any sense. And really, the way it is now, the legislature has dealt with that because by operation of law, your divorce in and of itself by statute nullifies your ex to be a beneficiary under your policy. In other words, the divorce is going to nullify that without further action. However, there are situations where somebody may want their ex to be a beneficiary. For example, let's say there's children, and part of the deal is that if you die and you're paying child support, you will buy a life policy to continue to pay the support. So how are we going to deal with that if the judgment of divorce nullifies you as a beneficiary? The answer is that, and the safest way to do it, is that if the judgment doesn't specify something, that the beneficiary be re-upped after the divorce. You don't have to be married to the person who's your beneficiary. You could name anybody as your beneficiary in a life policy. It could be a spouse, it could be a child, it could be a distant relative, it could be a banker, it could be anybody. So a real safe way to do this, not the only safe way, but a real safe way to do this is once your divorce is finalized, if you still desire to keep an ex on the policy as a beneficiary, you should simply re-up the policy, redesignate the beneficiary after the divorce, and the date will show that it's afterward. And at that point in time, should you die, that person will continue to be your beneficiary as before. If you have any questions about that, reach out. We'll be glad to help you out. If you found this informative and helpful, please like and share.